Live, and if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion show. And this week, somewhat the show's going to be tomorrow, but let's take a look. So if we look at SPY and a lot of things, ton everybody going inside day, and so we haven't had a reversal on the daily yet. They tried, but have not done it. And so this would be the two down, one, two reversal back up into this stuff if SPY can do it. QQQ here inside day, but look at this bar. How are you going to get outside of this? That's another story on inside day and up. But the Q's got a long way to get out of that. Dow Jones Diamonds here still would have a nice long way to get out of there, and the small cappers here a lot closer. So we'll see how that goes. But that's really dictating stuff with the volatility the way it is, that we're really going down in time frames because we're having as much action in a day as we used to have in a week or a month. So when people are like, is the bottom it? Is the bottom it? So here, let's take a look at the monthly. No. On the weekly. Now, as this holds up like this, we got 3 more days. But to reverse on the week, we'd have to either go 3 and take this out, or 2-2 back up next week. Now, we're closer to the highs, but we got a whole bunch of week left. On the daily, if we're going to reverse, there it is. 2 down, inside 212, and try and come back and see all this stuff, which we very well may do. But then if you go down to the 60, has the market bottomed? Here is your 2-2 reversal that has not been negated right there, right? So if you're bottom picking, that's how you do it on a 60-minute. But for the weeks, we're running out of months. So tomorrow's the last day of the month. So I'm not going to have any monthly charts today. So a little bit shorter of a show because really what we're going to be focusing on is the concentration of inside days because it's massive for tomorrow. However, on the weekly, we do have this. For this week, we've got Gap Stores here, inside week to the upside, with the XRT going 2-2 on the week or above that. All right, so you've got Urban Outfitters. That's 212 weekly up. DAR, Darling Ingredients. And it's going back up here too. So we'll see. Let me link this up. Let's see something here. DAR. And DAR is also taking the month up. Hammer month. So you got both of those working for that. You've got RL coming back up into the month, and you've got weekly inside week and up with a bunch of retail. You can keep an eye on that. INST. INST is 1 bar rev strat outside to the upside, trying to change continuity instead of monthly hammer in this thing. So we'll see how that goes. That was a nice daily kicker. That's what you look for. Here you go. 3-2 on the day. Bam. Takes the inside week. DRNA from the gapper list. So that's inside week and up. It is well off the highs. So what you do have here is you go inside day to see if it can retake that and go 2, 1, 2 back up. Big lots, more retail on the weekly. Going 3, 1, 2. You got some more room to try and take that out. SBAC in the towers. Bam. There you go. The 2, 1, 2 and up. And you can see what a nice day that was having. And you can watch American Tower with that, and CCI, Cree, and Cree coming up on the week here. So still trying to get outside of this thing. So we'll see how that goes. Crocs inside week to the upside. Yeah, no, it's Crocs, but it is what it is. AOBC, another 1 bar rev strat to get out of there, going 3. A little tight on that stuff, so be careful. What I mean by that is when you're seeing stuff like this, and here it's been choppy. It's starting to wake up a little bit here in the day, and now you've got the 3-1 to go with it. So just make sure it keeps going. All right, we got PCRX. PCRX inside week to the upside, trying to go green on the month. NXTM. And what's this thing? That's 1-3. I'd be careful on that. You can see the tight range this thing's had on the monthly. Not doing too much, so be careful on that. More retail. DDS trying to set up the rev strat monther with the inside week back to the upside. GIII inside week to the upside. Still red on the month, but if you look at the daily, you're going to see this. Trying to come up on this stuff, so you draw your triangles off of here, the lows, and come off of this, like so. And there you go, a little bit higher on that. You'd still be weakening up to try and go even more than that. Okay, if you go to Ollie, more retail. Ollie, that's got to be barely. Yeah, barely, but it is weak and upper, and you got this thing to go after up in here if it wants to pick up some steam. A couple others of note, certainly Walmart. And Walmart's 1 bar ref strat monthly, but it's above last week's highs. And that's what you want to be looking for. And PLCE is still monthing up for a day, and that thing's been cooking. SIG taking out last week's highs. Deckers here goes up through there, and Nordstrom picking up some steam there, taking out last week's highs. Hammers. We've got American Airlines takes weekly hammer to the upside, rev strategy, and there's a whole bunch of rev strats going on right now above 33.33. COG, that's also rev strat week. Delta, hammer up. Weak, Estee Lauder, rev strat weaker. RLGY, hammer up. That's looks like rev strat to me. EXPR. There's another rev strat for you, WRK. Another rev strat for you, JHG. KPP, is that right? No, KDD. Oh, well. KDP maybe, there we go. There we go, hammer up on the week. CVBF. There's another rev strat for you, PUMP. And there you go, another rev strat for you, REGI. Inside hammer up. If we go to the 3-2s, you got Ford coming out of the ashes with a 3-2. Outside to the upside. Twitter, 3-2 week. Intel, 3-2 week. Oracle, 3-2 week, trying to get outside of all this stuff. Some of the stuff's a little tight, but tomorrow's inside days are really going to tell the story. General Motors, I believe, have earnings coming out too, and it's 3-2 right now, but red on the week. Pulte Home, you can watch that with all the home builders. ITB, trying to come out of the ashes. How's XHB? Still having some problems, but potential 3. So right now, Pulte. Xilinx, 3-2 up, and had to deal with Microsoft, so maybe we get them up into here. Take this try out here, and that's 83.99. DXR, little guy. Shenanigans, but it is 3-2, and we'll see. Sometimes they follow through. Here we go. Kim, which is in the REITs, KIM. Borg Warner. And you can see that gap. You need to retake the opening of the week. The way you do that is this way. 2 up, 2 down, and then retake this 2 over 39.90. Aon. 3-2 week, 132 up to the highs. Just a little bit of exhaustion risk. It did what it was supposed to do by taking this stuff out. Neo, get. Neo, 3-2 week. Intrepid Potash, IPI, trying to come out of the ashes here, little guy. Abercrombie, more retail. PSA and the REITs. And you got VNQ REITs doing this. No rev strat for you. Re-break to the upside, or trying to. PKG, paper. That's 132 here above 92.27. You're going to watch iPaper with that because it's close to taking that 3-2, and it's also going to be an inside day. Martian McLennan, MMC, there's your 3-2 weaker back up. Tractor Supply, more retail. With tight triangle there, got to get out of there. The Burritos, 3-2 hammer week up, trying to set up the rev strat month for November. TCO, there's your 3-2 weaker up. CXP, CVI Refiner, and RE, a reinsurer, trying to come back up out of the ashes. More try up into here if they can get going. And the thing is, there's not too much on the downside so far. Like I said, these inside days are really going to tell the story, along with earnings out. And Facebook had earnings, and that's coming up, so that might help them out. TXRH does this. And that's 1 bar rev strat week down on the gapper. So you just have to see, see it's coming back towards the highs. And then you got your 3-2 weaker of death, GE. Ow. And into the lows she goes. TMUS. 3-2 week down, and an inside day with 3-1. VRNS, 3-2 week to the downside. That's also RevStrat month down for a day. CONE, 3-2 week down. DLR, 3-2 week down. KL, kill. ELAN, QSR, TSS, OFC, QTS, all right, UVE. That's already coming back, though, so you got to make sure that thing re-breaks. See, that rallied back, so be careful on that. EQIX here. Sorry, the 3-2 weaker. So, like I said, it's really going to be, I could go through much more stuff, but the problem is you got these inside days, and so really that's what we're going to be focusing on, the really short-term stuff. And then we'll get to the weekend, and we got a weekend video chock full of new monthlies, as well as the macro video where I go through the new quarterly stuff, and then finishing off the yearly stuff here for the last 2 months. So focus on these inside days for tomorrow, and going forward, we want to know what happens. Not only do we take it, do we stay up? And QQQ, how do you get out of this week, right? Because how do you get out of this week right here, right? So far, or and on the daily, how do you get outside of this day? It's pretty big. Now, things are moving around a lot, but that's still a pretty big day, so be aware of that. All right, well, next week should be a lot more fun because we'll have new monthlies and new weeklies and all that kind of stuff going on. So what you might want to do, just a suggestion, is go through the major sectors and just pick out the top stocks that are all inside. And that way, when you look for the break, you can know exactly where the break's occurring. If we're closer to the highs, most likely we might get a big gap up, and that would trigger them. Then it's going to be on those 30s and 15s, 60s, all that kind of stuff to see if they maintain, because right now we're trading a whole bunch on the shorter term stuff. All right, that's going to do it for this week. I'm Rob Smith in the Black Quant VTF with the Wheels in Motion show.